And so the people that you help, it comes from various ranges, from, like you said, maybe a car accident, or even, we're talking, some of the issues people were saying if a baby wasn't wanted. And they're even talking about going into the womb and pulling out some of those things that the mother had the feeling of while they're carrying the baby. Can you help take away that, some of that? Okay.
Yeah, I can help with a range of pieces of, I think one of the things that's been challenging and also exciting at the same time is realizing that there's a lot that we carry that we are unconscious of that can be pre-birth, it can be other lifetimes, other things. We can have energetic imprints that we're carrying that are causing us issues now that can have nothing to do sometimes with here and now. And so it's able to help people with that. Given that I can see people that have died, that's also come in handy with healing, you know, similar to John Edwards, I guess, maybe in that regard. There was a woman I worked with who has breast cancer. She's now recovered. And when she was going through her rounds of surgery and a great deal of stress, a lot of fear, obviously, with that process.
The unknown in itself
exactly.
is very fearful.
And her mother had breast cancer and had survived it and lived many, many, many years beyond what they had ever expected she would. And then she eventually had passed away. And when I was working with this woman, realized that she carried a tremendous amount of guilt in her chest and feelings that she had let her mother down. And it was right before her second surgery where I was working with her to clear out a lot of the energy from the first surgery and a lot of the fear and a lot of the different things going on in her body so that she could go into the next surgery in the best state possible for that surgery. And as I was working with her, realizing all of the things she was holding in her chest and guided her to clear and release that. And as soon as she did, she could feel her mother's presence. And that was the first time since her mother had died that she was able to clearly feel her. Which was tremendously comforting, tremendously healing for her going through that process. Because she'd had so much static that again, she couldn't really tune in effectively. She couldn't feel, even though her mother's presence was with her. She couldn't feel it until she had cleared all of that energy she was holding in her chest.
Right. And we have a tendency to make up stories that we've let people down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've had people where I have coached where in order for them to step into their next level of being and what they're being called to do, that there's some stories they have to let go of because they're really just stories. And they're stories that don't have to have power over their lives anymore.
Yes. Well, that's empowering in itself to know that the story that she made up in her head, you know, she got to actually release that through you as well.
Exactly. And then there were some things her mother wanted me to share with her specifically, and so it was really, for her, she said, a defining moment for her and her path of recovery.
Yeah. And we're hearing more and more, and the acceptance seems to be so much better, even with mediums and such. That we're actually, you know, opening up ourselves to actually think outside the box and being creative.
And it's something I'll talk about again. You know, having stopped in grade school, finally saying, "Okay, I can talk about this again." All right. And finding how helpful it is for people. Because again, the more you can tap into all the different resources that are available to us energetically, physically, spiritually, emotionally, you know, the more we give ourselves then to be able to heal, the more we can be whole and more of who we are.
Yeah. And they also talk about this in regards to almost being like a sixth sense. You know, with instead of, you know, think, act, and be like this, you know, if you have that, then go ahead and let yourself flow with it and enjoy it. Like, because as she said, it was a gift.
Exactly. And that's been part of my learning is getting into where I can be and flow. And that was part of my progress. You had asked us too if I had studied if some was born, some was studied, and you know, aspects of both with that. And I found that even with the studies, because I've for probably 20 years or more been interested and studied the mind-body-spirit connection. I'm an author. I write books on it. And I've studied a range of things from subtle energy to heart math to neuroscience and specifically neuroplasticity, looking at even the brain with the mind-body connection and different pieces. So it all comes into play at different times, and it's really given me a lot of resources to be able to draw from to help people. So again, depending where they're at, what they're dealing with, I'll teach like a week-long energy summit in Crestone, Colorado, which is a very spiritual center in the U.S. Fabulous, fabulous energy there. I teach a week-long seminar with 2 colleagues there where we really are helping people to step more fully into their next level of being, whatever that might be. So I'll work with people there around clearing energy blocks, clearing stories, clearing any energetic imprints, anything that might be going on that's really blocking them from fully expressing who they are.
Okay, so when you're talking about blocking, is it someone maybe with cancer, someone that may have liver failure, or what exactly is it that you could help them heal?
It's a whole range.
Okay,
it really,
so it's not one specific at all?
No,
okay.
because it's really looking at it on an energy level, it really can be anything. I mean, I've worked with people that have come in where they've had liver issues, for instance. There was a gentleman, probably in about his 50s, that I worked with who was a recovering alcoholic, had been sober for decades. By the time I worked on him, was having quite a bit of abdominal pain. And when I worked on him, there were all these heavy, heavy, dense energies stored in his liver from a completely different time and place, had nothing to do with his lifetime at all. And as I was working with him to heal and clear a lot of the pieces that were giving him pain, I was also struck by the thought of, I wonder how having those energies stored where they were predisposed him to alcoholism in this lifetime.
Oh, okay.
And then there were a lot of pieces that he needed to do around self-acceptance and self-forgiveness.
Oh, okay.
So that can tie in as well. I had a woman I worked with who had a detached retina. Just suddenly, she went into emergency surgery to preserve her eyesight and came through successfully. I worked with her post-surgery to promote the healing of the eye, to clear. Our body retains what's called cellular memory. So I was helping clear out the cellular memory of the detachment as well as the surgery, so that the energy could flow more freely through the eye and promote quicker healing for her. And when I was working on her, what I was told was she needs to see herself with new eyes.
Oh, okay.
And to take her through a process of self-love and self-acceptance. So different process than it might be for somebody else.
Right.
But for her, that's what she needed to fully heal.
Okay. And I know that a lot of people are basically looking at you, and they may have already gone through 15 other doctors prior to coming to you, or 10. And, it's kind of nice that we can talk about this now, and they may stop some of the going down the whole line and you being 15th on the list.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I'll work with people even if they're going into surgery. I'll work with them pre-surgery to help get their body ready, clear everything so that they can go in the best possible way if it's a surgery that absolutely is necessary. I'll work with people after surgeries, again, to help clear the cellular memory, to help promote healing. Worked with a woman where she had fallen and broken her eye bone, the bone that was right under her eye, and worked with her to really clear out a lot of the cellular memory that was left from the surgery, and promote the healing of the eye so it would heal more quickly. And she was amazed. She called me the next day and she's like, "The swelling's gone. I haven't had to take any pain pills or anything." She's like, "It's been great." And her doctor was amazed how quickly she had healed. So there's different entree points for everybody. It really is a very individual thing, again, depending what the person needs. I'll have some people that will come that want to do just general house cleaning. Because a lot of people say, I don't know where I'm storing stuff. I can't feel, okay, maybe I have a lot of dense energy over here. I went through a divorce and I've stored it around my solar plexus or my heart chakra, or where they may not be aware of it. So they'll come and say, what am I storing? What are you picking up? What can I do to clear it and heal in that regard?
Okay, yeah. And you look at a lot of people, is there some general tip, like we were talking about breathing? You're going to share with me a little bit of a breathing technique for my guests that come on that might be a little intimidated with the cameras. Is there a little point that you want to throw out to my viewers about how they might look at themselves and heal themselves?
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's a lot of things you can do to heal yourselves. One thing that's very effective, very powerful, also in its simplicity, is to focus on, if you're having pain, let's say you're having shoulder pain, is to first focus on something that you love and that generates that feeling of love. And then what I'll direct people to is you can then begin to just fill yourself, almost like you're think of yourself like a glass.
Okay.
And you're filling up a glass with love. And so you
Okay.
can begin to fill your entire body with love, filling your torso, filling your arms, your legs, up your neck, your head. And then envisioning the love washing through the shoulder like a stream.
Okay.
And with it having the intent of clearing, releasing anything that's stored there that's causing the pain, and then consciously exhaling that out of the body, and then letting the love continue to flow through and soak into every cell and all the space within is a very easy practice to heal and promote overall vitality.
Okay, yeah. Shannon, so in the years of experience that you've had doing this, what has been one of your most challenging?
Oh, that's a good question, Tina. You know, I think one of the most challenging was working with a gentleman, and when I sat down with him, could realize he wasn't really even fully present.
Oh.
Turned out he had been in a terrible bike accident. He had a near-death experience, came back only because he felt his family needed him. So really came back out of a sense of obligation rather than wanting to be here. And he was at a choice point of, does he want to stay here and really be here, or does he just want to say, I'm done? And so we talked, we cried, and he decided, you know, I really do want to be here. Not out of obligation, not because I'm needed, but because I want to be here. And so then I got the guidance to walk him through a process to fully have his energy fully back and present in his body. After the bike accident, he was suffering daily migraines where he was really pretty incapacitated and not able to function with a high degree of quality of life. After I worked with him that evening, the next day he had no migraine, which was the first day since his bike accident that he had not had a migraine.
Wow. And there is a difference in feeling wanted and being needed, you know, within love, within his family as well.
And really wanting to be here because you genuinely want to be here. Big difference.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Yeah. Well, we only have a few minutes left, and so I'd really like to throw this out to you to embrace with my viewers with your abilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's really that you have the power to heal yourself. We come with perfect, vibrant health, and that's really what I work with people to restore and help them, whether it's house cleaning, of wanting to clear what energies are blocking, what barriers there are, before it becomes a problem, before it starts to cause discomfort or pain or even disease, to really working with folks where they're maybe a bit down the path already and they've got some conditions, they've got some problems, to really help clear the energies, clear the blocks, clear anything that's going on, so that you can be more of who you are and enjoy a high quality of life and vibrancy and get to really bring forward your gifts and why you're here.
Okay. Well, that's spectacular. We've run out of time.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you so much. Appreciate this. I look forward to having you view other shows of Knowledge for Wellness and visit my website at knowledgeforwellness.com and let me know where you viewed my show. And you can also connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And the mission of Knowledge for Wellness is to inform viewers on health issues, to expose, educate, and make viewers aware, to enhance themselves and their loved ones for a better quality of life. And I sure hope we have provided you with more knowledge to benefit you and your loved ones. So until next time, be well and goodbye.
Over time you've healed so much in me, and I am living proof that although my darkest hour had come,